I made a lot of mistakes in my 20s, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's stuff related to school and whatnot. It was a lot of stuff to learn, but I think specifically the big one was money. And, I hope to kind of shed some light on my experiences in hopes that whoever's watching can take some wisdom from it. Um, I know we're sliding the Nissan 240 today. I think I need some work done on it, but without a doubt, I think cars is where we start. Spending too much money on cars. Little background: when I was 18 years old, I financed a car, brand new. Took it off the lot, no miles. It wasn't my first car, but it was a big upgrade for me from the 1998 Honda Accord I had at the time. I paid 0% interest for 5 years, so that was nice. But it ended up costing me $400 a month to pay for, which honestly was money that could have been spent towards a lot of better things. I also used the wrong means to pay off the car and made decisions that ended up costing me more later in life. But hold on to that point. We'll get there later in the video. But of course, I needed a fun car as well, right? So I ended up buying a Nissan Skyline as a weekend car, something to, kind of, go to car meets, do all that stuff, work on. The car that I financed new was a Mitsubishi Outlander. It was a 2015. It was a good daily, but of course, I had the desire to have something fun for the weekends. Later down the road, I actually sold the Skyline and the Outlander and utilized a lot of my available credit line at the time to secure a purchase on a Lamborghini Gallardo. But that's a whole topic that needs a whole video on itself. So we'll save that for later. But the idea here is I didn't need those type of cars in my life when the money I was spending every month to pay for just maintenance, pay for the monthly payment on my Mitsubishi, it could have been spent elsewhere. Learn to live with a beater car. Don't flush all your money down the drain because you need a turbo kit or, these rims will look good. Learn how to live with a beater car. You'll thank yourself. And when the timing is right, yeah, by all means, treat yourself, get yourself that nice car. But I think spending a lot of money on cars because, of course, you have to maintain them and whatnot. Definitely, it took away a lot of the funds that could have been can use better. Secondly, getting a mortgage you can barely pay for. A lot of times we get caught up in this idea of keeping up with the Joneses, especially the cultural background that I come from. Oftentimes we want to compete with each other as to who has the bigger house, who did it first. It's terrible, but we're made feel that way that if we don't purchase a house while we're young in hopes that it will become a real estate investment someday, that we're falling behind everyone else. I think we need to push that mindset to the side and encourage other ways of having a setup that works well for us for living. And thankfully, I did end up selling that house. In all honesty, it comprised a lot of my take home pay. And the saddest part in my case was that I wasn't even living in that house. It was supposed to be an investment to secure my future. My advice is to take advantage of your situation. If you live with your parents, there's no shame in that. If you're in college, if you just need to, get your act together, live with your parents. Don't be ashamed of renting a place. If anything, when you rent, it'll help you deter a lot of the costs that come with home ownership that no one likes to speak about, like maintenance, landscaping, HOA fees, insurance, and all that jazz. So, yeah, don't rush into a mortgage, especially if you can barely pay for it. In lieu of speaking of, financing and stuff like that, I think a big one that perhaps everyone struggles with in their life at some point or the other is using a credit card. They say credit card is the devil, and that is so true. And I get it. You want to redeem cashback rewards. But when you're young, spending money on things you cannot pay for in cash starts to become harmless. And carrying over that debt and paying hundreds, even thousands in interest is something that violates the money that you work so hard for. You deserve better. pay for things in cash. A lot of times, if I have to think about the consequences of putting something on my card, whether it's like a new laptop, a watch, you want to get that new PS5, I find myself talking myself out of it because I've been down that rabbit hole plenty of times before. If you can't comfortably think about paying for it in cash in the first place, maybe you don't need it. Another point that I think I'm still learning today, and it's worked for me, and I wish I started earlier, was learning how to cook and not eating out too much. I've understood the wisdom behind learning how to cook and learning how to meal prep. For example, the other week I did some groceries, did my meal prep. I think it costed me like $30. And that food lasted me 4 days. And you save a lot of money this way. I get it. It's tougher when you're in college. You want to go out with friends and eat out all the time, but trust me, that's going to wipe out your bank account, especially if you're in a position where you're not earning enough money to fulfill bigger goals in your life. So, remember when I was talking about my Mitsubishi Outlander that I financed brand new and I paid it off incorrectly? So that comes to point number 5 here, which is abusing student loans. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I've seen many fall victim, so it must be said. Don't take out more on your student loans because you can. I maxed out my student loans and used that money to pay off my other debt, particularly the Mitsubishi. Because in my mind, I was like, hey, I can pay off this car and I can sell it and then reuse that money at a later time to repay off that debt. Of course, I'm not thinking about depreciation and thinking far ahead, right? And yeah, I'll tell you that backfired. I'm still having to pay off those student loans. That Mitsubishi Outlander is long gone, and in the grand scheme of things, a lot of money flushed down the drain. So some stuff that might work for you is sign up for a payment plan if you're able to. If you could pay for your college tuition while working part time, or if you have something to fall back on to do so, take advantage of that. Avoid the loans if you can. Go to community college. It saves you a lot of money. That's what I did. I'm glad my student loans are far less overall than a lot of my friends. The last point I want to make here is spending time with the wrong company. Everybody wants to party, get drunk, get high, go to the casino, gamble, and everything. But getting involved with the wrong circles will not only blow your money away, it's also going to negatively impact other parts of your life, your health, your relationships, future job opportunities. You got to surround yourself with people that are going to help you grow in life, and you need to take that stand and cut out the people that aren't going to provide that atmosphere for you. On top of these things, a bonus tip that I'd like to mention is learn how to budget your expenses. Know what's coming in, know what's going out, plan ahead for paying your taxes. That's a big one. Give yourself some boundaries to live within. You'll thank yourself later in life. Live below your means. I hope you all enjoyed this quick video about some things that made me struggle in my 20s, and I hope that you can take advantage of overcoming these things and avoiding these mistakes. I'm looking forward to making more videos on topics like this, and hope someone, even if one person, can take benefit from it. My name is Sam Sauger, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.